Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we'll be working on tutorial number 2 for our Falling in Love mini album. And I got interrupted with a phone call, and so what I've done so far is I've taken two 12 by 12 sheets of black cardstock and I've put a 1/2 inch piece of tape in and connected those two together. In addition to that, I have taped two 10.5 inches high by 9 1/4 inch wide pieces of medium chipboard and one piece that is 2 1/4 wide by 10.5 inch high piece of medium chipboard. I have added 4 strips of tape and some glue to this, and we're going to do it 3/4 of an inch up from our bottom edge because this is 10.5 inches high, so we got to kind of split the difference here. So I'm 1 inch in, and we're going to be about 3/4 of an inch there. All right, and this should be the perfect width for our cardstock to be. I'm just gonna give that a press down there. Yeah, it was all started and got a phone call, so I had to answer it. Now I've turned it off, so it won't happen again. They'll have to leave a message. All right, so now we're going to come in and we're going to do the second piece here, and it's our spine. And for those who watch my tutorials, you know that I am a glue person per se. I use tape where I think it's needed, but I do prefer to use glue. All right, so I'm going to allow about 1/4 of an inch between these two because this is a good size album. So I'm going to make sure that's lined up along the bottom. Give myself about 1/4 of an inch there. There we go. And I've got all the decorative cardstock, I think, ready. You always run into something that you missed, or so hopefully we won't this time, but if we do, we'll deal with it at that time. But for the most part, I feel that I've got everything pretty much ready to go for you, and that does help speed up the process a little bit. And if it looks like it's going to drag on a little bit too long, then I will divide it up into a third tutorial, but I'm hoping we can maybe get it done in just the two. All right, I'll slide this down again. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch in between these two. Get my 3/4 of an inch line down there, just like so. All right, there we go. All right, as you can see here, we've got looks like just a little over an inch. Yeah, it's 1 1/4 inches, so that is not going to hurt that at all to be that much longer. If it bothers you that it's 1/4 of an inch bigger than it, then you can go ahead and trim it off. I'm just going to leave it because I'm not worried about it. Okay, I'm going to get that glue spread out there. There we go. All right, here we go. I'm just going to start gently bringing this up to get those fibers in that paper used to being moved. Get them relaxed a little bit. With the longer edges, I start in the middle there. And then I'm going to run a bead of glue up against my chipboard there, all around the outside edge. This will help soften that too. So get that going there. Get that softened a little bit. I want to go in and make a good crease there so I can see where I've got to trim that paper down. There we go. And I'm just going to quick come in and snip those corners just on a slight angle. Not too sharp of an angle. I'm staying about a 1/16 of an inch away from my edge there. I can always trim off a little bit more, but it's hard to add. So let's get this going. And you can do this prior to putting any glue down too. So if you're worried about that glue setting up there. All right. There we go. All right. So we're going to add some tape to the top of each edge here. There we go. And it's just going to help hold into place everything until our glue dries up. There we go. Get those 3 edges on there like that. And this is our 4th one. There we go. All right. So I'm going to peel this off here. Maybe it was up, just didn't want to let go. Get these all off of here. When I lay down my glue on these edges, I'm going to stay about a 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch away from the edges there, so that when it squeezes out, it doesn't squeeze all over the place. So with this, I'm going to lay a ziggy-zag edge on there. And we're going to just come in here. I'm just using my tool to kind of press that up against there. I'm going to start in the middle. Work my way out. Just like that. Okay. Now in this corner, I'm just going to bring that in, just in case there's a little bit there that's sticking out. I'm going to flip this here. I'm going to do the same thing, give myself another little zigzag or wiggly line there. Okay. That against there, getting used to it. Come down in my center, just like so. And again, bring those in just in case there's a little black there. And then we can tuck in these ends here. All right. Like that. Come in the center. Looks like it's lining up good. There we go. Same here. Looks like I got a decent angle on there. I don't have to worry about that showing there in the center. Now with the back side of my rounded edge, I'm just going to get those to relax a little bit there. You can use a rounded ink pen and just gently press in there, just to get those fibers used to being in that crevice there. And then you're just going to gently pull it up. There we go. And there is our... All right. So now I'm just going to flip this over. And I'm going to add my front piece and my back piece. How do I want to close this? I think, let's figure that out. So I think I'm going to do a nice wide band for a closure. Let's see here. Maybe this one. And then I don't have to decorate it. So let's go ahead and punch this. Whoops. Let's round the corners here. On the edges there. And we'll use this one as the front here. And I think we can, all right, so let's find our center here. My ruler, here's my ruler. All right, so this is 10 and a half. So we're going to go to 5 1/4, and I'm going to come back here. 5 1/4. So that's my center there. Let me make sure. This is all going to be covered, so if I go back further, it's not going to matter. And this is just a scrap, and it is almost 3. So let's go 1/16 of an inch in. So 1 1/2. There we go. So that's the center of that. And I want to make sure I leave enough. So let me see here. That's my, all right. So that can be like that. And then this one. Okay, so I want to put something in here that will hold this up, so I can get an idea of about where I need to have this come here. I'm going to say about right in here. So let me go ahead and make my mark with that. Get this out of the way. There we go. So I've got it creased at, let's do it at 4 1/2. So let me give you a total measurement of this. This is, I want to do it with this ruler, 10 3/8 long by 2 7/8 wide. So on your 10 7/8, or 3/8, I'm sorry, 10 3/8 side, let's score at 4 1/2, and then again at, let's figure 7. Let's see if that works. All right, this is gonna go like that, like that. Let's give her a test here. See what we got. So this will be on the bottom, this will be on the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look down here and see if my height is like level. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to go with that. So let's go ahead and glue this down. So we're going to bring this in there. My things here. I got to mark the other side here so I can see what I'm doing with my pencil. All right. So I'm just seeing where I marked it on. All right. So there's a mark for my pencil. We're going to go just about like that. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Make this a nice. Didn't give much thought about what kind of closure I want, but I know these work really good. My last couple of albums have had these, and I've been real happy with them. So we'll just stick with it for right now, since it's quick. All right, that little bit of glue there's okay. All right, so we got that. All right, and then we'll put a magnet on this. I want a good heavy duty magnet, so I'm going to go with a couple of my really big ones. And it's probably overkill, but you know, it's a pretty good size album, and I want to have a good size magnet in there to hold it. So we're going to go with these ones here. They are about 1 inch across. Nope, they are, let's see, I can tell you, about 7/8 inches across. So let's go ahead and, oh, I'm going to have to cover this because it going to have a magnet on it. So we're going to put about right there. And we'll just add another decorative piece of cardstock on there. Won't hurt it. And then I'm going to go in here and grab another one. And they put plastic in between them because they have quite a bit of power. So if they didn't have the magnet in between, it would be hard to get them off. So I'm going to put this there. There we go. So now I think I'm going to come back in with this little tray here because I knew that was about right. And maybe even put something else in there to bring it up just a little bit further. Let me see if that's what I got. Okay, and I'm just going to gently press on there and slide them apart. There we go. I'm going to run and let my dog in a second. I did not realize she was outside. All right, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I did not realize she was still outside. All right, so we've got that. That's a nice closure. And then, all right, so now this is our front here. And so we're going to take this piece here, and these were cut at, and I wrote it down. Let me tell you what they were cut at, because I had it written down on the other side apparently. All right. These are 10 3/8 high by 9 1/8 wide. So both of them are cut the same. I'm going to add some extra glue right by this big magnet. Now both the front and the back cardstock is the same. And with the spine, all I did was reverse it to this floral pattern for the spine. And it's just easier to decorate this now than it is to mess with it in a little while. All right. Once it's built, it's a little harder to get these nice flat. So we're just going to do it now. And I just took the Forever stickers from my sticker sheet and put those on there. We're going to do some additional decorating on here at the end because I don't want that interfering with my building it, because it's going to be, I got some flowers and stuff picked out. All right, and this just is another sticker. It says, "Love you so much." That's from my sticker pack. So with this, see how far we can get today. We will see. If I stop having interruptions, we'll probably get it done. All righty here. Okay. And I probably won't do much to the back there. Now for our spine, let me get this standing up here. Go. And this is going to be centered on here like so. And I might take lace and cover the edge. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. We'll see. Run my all right. Okay. Now it looks a little wider for that, but that's because of our 1/4 of an inch extra in between our chipboard pieces on our spine. So it's holding good. All right, now I'm just going to put this down here so I can get this fastened really good there. Okay, we're going to set this as, let's go ahead and attach our hinge and let that dry while we're continuing on. I don't know where my, oh, there it is. I want to cover my glue here. It dries out. It makes it real hard to work with. All right. So this hinge is cut 9 7/8 by 9 inches wide. So 9 7/8 high by 9 inches wide. I did go just a little, maybe less than a 1/16, maybe a 1/16 of an inch under the 9 7/8, just because I want to make sure that they slide, that my tunnels slide on to the hinge really nice. So just go to 9 7/8, back it off just a smidge and trim it there, and you shouldn't have any problems. All right. So on my 9-inch wide side, I have scored at 3/4 of an inch. Let me just grab my scoreboard here and I'll show you exactly, because it's pretty easy. All right. So scored at 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 4 1/4, 4 3/4, 5 1/2, 6 1/4, 6 3/4, 7 1/2, and it works like that, and 8 1/4. Okay, and then of course it's only 9 inches. So what we end up with is 3/4 inch on each end, and 3/4 inch, 4 3/4 inch hinges. So we get 4 3/4 inch hinges, 1/2 inch gusset in between those, and 3/4 inch on each side to lay down everything. So for this, I have pre-laid down my 1/2 inch tape, or this is actually just a little under 1/2 inch, and I've laid it down towards the top edge of my center there. So I'm going to, in addition to that, put down some glue. There we go. Because I want to glue those together. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to bring this in. Fasten it good. There we go. Just like that. And again, if you remember, we have 1/2 inch gusset in between each one. So that should give it plenty of room there. And I'm using glue for the other half because I didn't want to, let's just make sure we've got a little bit down here. There we go. Just like that. And make sure that they're together nice and will hold for the long term. All right. Just like that. Then what we'll do is we'll add additional tape to this whole thing and tape it down. This makes a nice, easy way to get your hinges done here. Oops. All right. I'm going to each going this way too. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to come in with some wider tape, and we're going to tape that down. So here we go. Wider score tape here. And we will just put the tapes down there. Just like that. I don't want to. Now add some glue to this too. It just makes it a little quicker. Get this in there good. And then we'll just lay a couple strips of our regular tape here down. And I could have had this done, but sometimes I get new viewers watching my YouTube videos, and maybe new completely to doing mini albums, and I want them to be able to have the same advantage that we all had watching tutorials, that they don't have to jump around and go find a tutorial while they're watching another one. So that is why I do a lot of the same steps that you're familiar with, just because there are new people continually joining in and looking for the information. And I know how when I'm watching a tutorial, I don't want to have to jump to another video to watch how to do something. All right, so I know that this is going to be about, yeah, I think about, oops, I got to get the right end of my ruler here. Okay, so it's 10.5, so I need 6, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10/16. So I need 5/16. So let's get a mark out here. And with my ruler, that's 2, 4. So that is 5. So I'm just going to kind of draw a light line there, and I'm going to do the same thing this way. I'm going to come down 5/16. My ruler does have 16, so 2, 4, 5. Make sure it's lined up there. I'm going to draw another line, and then I should be able to stay right in between those. Yep, perfect. And then my center for this is here. So let's mark the center of this. So this is 2 1/8. So I want this at 1 1/4. So I'm just going to do a pencil mark there. And I'm going to turn this around. And I'm going to do a pencil mark at 1 1/4 here, just so I can see where to line up the center. Now, I know this, I can eyeball this center of this with that and get it lined up there. All right. So let's go ahead and pull our tape. And that's a nice way to do that, is so you are close. I mean, you can eyeball it, but then if it's crooked, then you're kind of stuck with that. So I like to get the best I can, as close as I can. It takes just a couple extra seconds to make a mark on there, and then have that reassurance that, okay, I'm as close as I can get. All right. Okay, so I'm going to hold these wings up with my fingers, and I'm eyeballing the center of that 1/2 inch there. I can see my pencil lines. Looks good. Lightly press it with my fingers there. There we go. All right. Now I can go in and press that down with my thing here. And I'm going to come right up against each one of those hinge edges. Get that pressed down there good. Now come back with the pointy part. Same thing. Come right up against those edges. Make sure I've got good adhesion there. Perfect. There we go. All right. All right. So I'm going to let that dry before I mess with this because I've got these. It's got to be broken there again. Right there. Ooh, right on that edge too. That one came close. This one's a little further away. So I want that to dry good before we mess with it. All right. So I'm just going to set this aside and let it dry. Let's see how we're doing on time here. Okay. Not sure what time we've been, how far we're going. All right. So we're going to start with one of our pages here. And I'm not sure which one this is. All right. So we'll start with the outside here. And that is going to be these hearts. So at the top, there's no me without you. And I got devotion and together here on this part of it. We're just going to go ahead and glue this down. I tried to, if I was going to put a sticker on, not to say I won't add more, but I tried to attach them ahead of time so I wasn't humming around trying to decide what I wanted. In addition to that, anything that I patchwork together, I did ahead of time, so we don't, because that takes time to sit and figure out those and stuff. So I wanted that all done, so that will be one step we're ahead with those. So that piece we just added there was 6 3/8 wide by 8 3/8 high. We have another one here that is 6 3/8 by 8 3/8 high, and that is going to be attached right there. I think this is the only knot one I did because they're not getting married, so I'll probably just put that on. So I figured the tying of the knot thing wasn't per se what they probably would enjoy, but I think once they get this picture or two on there, then that'll be all right. Then I put love sticker on there to go with that. So hopefully this will fall together nice and easy. Everything's been inked with the black soot. And this I just used cream colored cardstock, and this one is our story. And then I just took my ink pen and my ruler and I just made pencil lines. They can be erased. Actually, it's pencil, not an ink pen, just pencil, just to give her lines to go by to write. If she wants to erase them, she can. If she doesn't have to. This decorative cardstock, I'm going to call it 2 because it's what's going to be laying here. It's cut at 3 3/4 wide by 8 3/8 high. And as always, double check the measurements for your albums. Even if you're doing the album that same one I'm working on and you've cut, just give it a quick double check just to make sure that your cuts are the same. And I thought that would be nice for them to be able to write some things in here. And then this one is the same concept, and I just wrote our favorite things because they have favorite songs that they like and favorite foods that they like and things they like to do together. They could list their favorite movie or favorite place to go together, whatever they want, the favorite things they share together. And that is also 3 3/4 wide by 8 3/8 high. There we go. And it was just 65-pound weight cardstock. Just a regular weight. And this was also edged in the black soot. Everything, even the cream cardstock, was edged in black soot. So that takes care of that part of the page. On our next page, the decorative cardstock is 7 inches wide by 9 3/4 inches high. And this is from, look at, see, that didn't get it. So, but I thought the bird was pretty. Could go hit that with that. All right. Now this is textured, so it's probably going to make a little noise. I apologize for that. Sounds a little gritty, but it's a nice heavyweight cardstock. They actually have two different. They have more of a plain flat cardstock that's lighter weight, and then they also have the textured cardstock in their lines. So now I want to lift that up so I can see it. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. And on the back side of this, we have an additional piece, and I've got Sing Your Song sticker up there. And that is also 7 inches wide by 9 3/8 high. All right. And I'm just gonna watching my gusset there. I don't want to interfere with my gusset. There we go. Okay. All right. So that takes care of those two. Now these two pieces, my decorative cardstock for these flip up and flip down, are 7 inches wide by 4 7/8 inches high. I've added one of the little tags with a tiny brad there as a decorative element. And we're just going to glue those down to the top here. Just to give it a little decoration there. And because I didn't want to do too much to these because they're so close to the actual size of the pictures that I just wanted to keep it simple, because by the time you add a picture to it, and I'll show you here, one of my pictures, you're just going to have a nice edge all the way around. So, and I will send her extra stickers probably. I think I'll have some left, and then she can add additional ones if she would like. But this swivels so she can adjust that. And we're going to do this one is on the right hand side here with a black brad instead of a white one. And we're going to glue that down over here on the down side. Okay. Tried to find cute little elements that were, although they are religious, this is not a religious album per se, so I didn't want that to dominate the theme. So that is why I didn't put a lot of the religious things in. All right. So on this one, I did the faithfulness sticker, and this one I did the blast with the 2 little hearts. So those are gonna go on the back sides. Again, 7 inches wide by 4 and 7/8 inches high. And I pretty much, by the time I did got my 4 big tags ready for the pockets, I pretty much used up all of the full 12 by 12 sheets that I had of both of these papers. I think I might have 1 sheet left. Well, maybe 2. 1 of each. 1 of the black with the polka dots, and then 1 of the cream with the plaid, I think it is. Yeah, the checkered. All right, so that goes up there like that. And this piece down here, because it is pieced together, is already done. So that one's already done because it was a sections. So I just let that one go already. Just makes it a lot easier than fidgeting around, and I lose the pieces because they're sectioned off, and it's a little bit confusing when I have a bunch of little pieces floating around. So it's just easier for me to just, when I do a quilt effect like that, it's just easier for me just to get it done and show you what the outcome is instead of doing it with you. But it's really easy. I just piece them together. Okay, so that takes care of that and that. And then this side is done here, which is our outside, and there. So that side is done. Let's go ahead and flip to the other side. Again, here is another section that is already done because it is a quilted effect. On the back side here, we need a piece 6 3/8 wide by 4 3/8 high. Just regular cardstock that's been edged with the black soot. And this holds a 4 by 6 egg. I think it gives me just a little bit on each side here. We'll hold a picture up here in just a second. I want to stay away from that nice score line there. My gusset for that. All right, so if I put my picture on there, so you have just like the perfect amount around the edge. So that is why I didn't put anything on there. For this fold here, for this front piece here, we need a piece that is 6 1/8 wide by 8 3/8 high. And I've got Love You So Much on the top, and I guess I used the knots for that one too. So I probably got sick of using the polka dot. I had a lot of this polka dot with the knots on the other side. I must have bought a package of the 20 sheets. I buy a lot of paper like that, especially when I had my business. I would buy the large packets of the same, and then I would have large amounts of it for using. So I think now I just got the one piece left, which is all right. I don't know if I have enough pack of it. Sometimes I had 2 or 3 packs of the same paper, 20 sheets of it. So it all depended on what struck me at that time. All right, this one, I cut apart the phrase. I couldn't, what did it say? Let me see here. It said, I couldn't tie the knot without you. So I cut out the words I couldn't without you and attached them to here. And I did it in another spot too. So here we're just using the checked paper. We need it 6 1/8 wide by 8 3/8 high. I tried to not do it too much of the flowers, just for him, because this is for both of them. And I want them both to enjoy it. So, you know, and she's not, I mean, she's feminine, but she's not, you know, all into the flowers and all that kind of stuff, I don't think either. So I think this will be perfect. I just didn't, and although I like the black with the creams and the whites, I just thought it was almost too much with just that. And then here I just used 2 of the stickers here of the same, and that's going to go on our back section here. And this piece, oh, I didn't measure it. I should measure it. We'll measure that up in a second here. I try to be good about having that done, but sometimes you get working on it and you forget. It only takes a second. We'll measure it up here. All right, there we go. We're going to have plenty of room for pictures in this, for ones they've already got and ones they want to add as their relationship grows. They can easily get pictures on here. They could even get an 8 by 10. They could put 2 pictures this way too. Have room to journal. So I love that plaid. So there we go, just like that. So that is 1 page. All right. So let's move right along here. Let's just grab another one and keep on going. See how far we can get. Oops, the magnet's grabbed over there. All right. So let's go ahead and do this side because this is going to be easy. Now to this I've added the sticker Everlasting Love there, and 2 of the little corner stickers are glued completely down. And all I'm going to do is add this to this side and that to the front side, and we'll be done with that. And then I'm going to have to put a sticker or something on here in addition to that. So we will do that. Just because I use the decorative cardstock as my flip, so then there's no place to really hide my magnet. Or, you know what, I'm just going to leave it rather than put something there, because their picture will cover that magnet. So rather than put another piece of cardstock there that might interfere with the magnet opening and closing, holding this flap shut, I'm going to leave it and actually peel. I'm going to peel off that tape without damaging my paper, and then I'm going to glue it down. Here we go. I'll just use a little bit of the because the more you put on there, the more that interferes with, oops, wrong side. The more that interferes with the function of the magnet. So layer after layer after layer, and then all of a sudden it's not working because you've got too many things there. So I'm going to just press that there and let that sit, and then we're going to add this piece here. There we go. All right. So this is going to go on the top, and it's the same. And these were all cut from scratch. So let me slide this here. I want that to press that down so it can flatten out there. All right. So we're going with that like that. And I thought that was cute because it had the polka dots there too. So now on the reverse side of this is our flip down. And I have this one here, and it is 7 3/8 high by 8 3/8 wide. And I've just took a strip of the same and put it down here just as a decoration. It is not is not quilt pieces together. It's just added to this one piece that was cut that size. So I just thought it looked nice to bring that in from the next page because it's visible. I just thought it looked cool. So we're going to go ahead and put this down there like so. All right. And I'm going to line this up here. It's easier sometimes to do it from the back side once you get it lined up, because then I can flatten it and rub that glue. There we go. Now I can like that. Okay. And then this piece here was it was like this. So that is 7 3/8 high by 8 3/8 wide. Whoops. It was just their tag sheet. And I did save a couple of the tags that I thought I would use that weren't so religious. That could be used for anything. And I saved those. This looks like it's, and I'm going to watch my gusset there. I've got a 1/4 inch gusset there. We don't want to interfere with that. Okay. All right. I think we'll finish up this one and then we'll quit and do the last two, and then the putting them in the book in the next video, because I don't want this to get too far out there, and I have a feeling we're getting close. For the flip up here, this piece is 5 inches high by 4 3/8 inches wide. And it's that lace to coordinate with the other piece that we just put on there. Go. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to open this up so I can press that down from the inside. There we go. And here I accidentally attached this already. So I don't know why I was just cutting and I just all of a sudden realized I was gluing it down. So that one is not patchwork, but it did get glued down, and I just put that says together there. On the inside here, this is patchwork together. So that is already on there. We're going to add another piece 5 inches high by 8 3/8 wide to the back side here. It's our inside little flip here. There we go. And I'm going to watch my gussets again. I got a gusset on the top there and a gusset on the bottom. I want to be aware of those. Just slide it to the side here. Slide it just a little bit. There we go. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that's going to close up. And as you can see, those are going to hold a picture nicely. So I'm going to have room for journaling, or she can put it in the center and write something on each side. And of course here, plenty of room again to journal, have a picture. These flips here, I'm all cut the same, and I did not smudge the edges of those, so let's go ahead and do that. Put my pin in my glue. go. And these, you need 4 of them, 6 3/8 high by 4 3/8 high again. So you get 2 out of the 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper of cardstock. Now some of my other ones that you'll see here in a little bit, they have a sticker or something on them. Maybe I'll get something for that, but these do hold a picture perfect, so I didn't want to take up room with a bunch of stickers and stuff. So all right, so one of these can go down here like that. Press again, just like that. I wanted to give her lots of room for pictures. Like I said in the first video, they're not I don't know what pictures they have, and so I want to give them room for their pictures in whatever direction they want. So, there we go. Let's go ahead and do the back sides of these, the same measurements. All right, here we go. And this album would be nice for just any event, really. You know, I try to, any album you do, just because they use a certain cardstock and a certain theme doesn't mean you can't switch it up and pick a theme that you have, because I understand that you're probably not going to be able to get a hold of these papers. But you might be able to, but it's not something you can just go to the store and say, well, I want that, because these are older papers. But I feel obligated to use up my older papers because I have so much, and I don't want it just sitting there. It doesn't do me any good just sitting there. So I'm trying to use up and utilize what I have before spending more money on new ones. All right, which I still spend money on new ones, but I don't have to do as much. All right, this decorative cardstock here is 9 7/8 high by 8 3/8 wide. And that is what that other piece is going to be too, that we just finished up in the thing, since I didn't go measure it for you. Should be the same. But I will go back and measure that because I told you I would. And I get going on these things and then just forget. Here we go. Again, being aware of my gussets. Trying to be aware of my gussets. There we go. All right. Okay. So this goes down. There's a magnet in there. There we go. So that is those two sides. So that is 2. Let me bring that first one back here. And we're going to go inside and measure that last page that we did. All right. So let's go ahead and measure that, because I don't think I did. So that piece is 9 7/8 wide by 8 3/8, or 9 7/8 high by 8 3/8 wide. Okay. So we've got those 2 done. And the next time we will work on the mirror image of this one and the next page. We've got 2 to do, and we'll throw them in the book and do our decorating on the outside. So I think we're going to leave it there for today because I don't want this to go too long. And if you are a subscriber to my channel, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so now. You can go ahead and down in the bottom right-hand corner there, you can hit that red logo that says subscribe. When you do, a bell will pop up. If you hit the bell, you can be notified each time I put up a new video. Before I put them on social media, they always go to my YouTube first. So until the next time, I hope you have a great day.